Okay. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to keep an eye on it. We're still adding some people too. But today is Wednesday, March 25th, 2020, and I am Amy Zellmer. And I believe most of you are probably members of Amy's TBI Tribe on Facebook, but if you're not, be sure to join our group. It's called Amy's TBI Tribe Concussion and Brain Injury, I think is the full name. But if you just put in Amy's TBI Tribe, you should be able to find it. Sorry, I'm still paying attention to everybody that I need to add in. So I wanted to do something, having brain injury, we are all a little more self-isolated to begin with than the average person, which I guess that's an advantage, right? We kind of already had that going for us. But it's also, a negative because we're already so isolated. And then now with all that's going on with the coronavirus, we're even more isolated. And depending which state you're in, it's more extreme than others, or which country you're in as well. We have a lot of international on here as well. Sorry, I'm trying to get my microphone to quit moving on me. There we go. So I wanted to create a little meetup, see how it goes. I might keep doing these weekly based on how many of you are here already. I think I will keep doing these. I am thinking of I did something fun last night with a group. We actually played bingo and it was really fun. So I think that next week I'm going to do TBI bingo. I have put it on my calendar. Let me double check so I don't say the wrong thing. I have it on my calendar for next Wednesday, April 1st. Oh, April Fool's Day. Ooh, I can have some fun with that too. And I'm going to do that at 6:30 p.m. Central. So that's 7:30 p.m. Eastern and 4:30 p.m. Pacific. I want to try and kind of mix the times up for people because I know some of you are actually still working. Some of you are homeschooling kids. So I'm going to try and mix up the times that I do these so that we can reach people, that have different schedules. So next week, please no promotion in the chat room. Thank you. So next week, we're going to do TBI bingo. So I just made that decision because there's so many of you in here. I think it'll be super fun. It'll be very similar to what we're doing now. And you'll get a bingo card emailed to you ahead of time that you can either print out or you can do it online. So whichever is easier for you. But you'll get that ahead of time so that you can have that printed out and ready. All right, we still got a bunch of people joining us. So welcome anyone new. All right. Sorry, we got more people joining. That's awesome. So thank you everyone for being here. I have everybody muted. Oh, Kathy from Atlanta. I have everyone muted so that there's not a lot of background noise because it can get really, really loud if I start unmuting you. So I want it to keep it muted so that we don't have all that background noise. We already have problems dealing with sensory overload to begin with. But in a bit, I will open it up so everybody can kind of chat with one another. And I thought there was a way to do breakout rooms. Let me look here. If anyone's really familiar with Zoom and can message me how to do that, I do know that there's a way you can do breakouts so that you guys can each I know there's a way I can put you guys into little breakout rooms, but I don't know how. So I will figure that out before next week. But if anybody does know how and can tell me, oh, somebody sent me the link. Hang on. Somebody smarter than me. Oop, got some more people joining us. Welcome, everyone. If I accidentally kick you out because I go a little crazy on my clicking here when I let people in, if I accidentally delete you and kick you out, please rejoin by clicking the link again. I promise I'm not doing it intentional. All right. Breakout rooms. Oh, that's a lot more reading than I want to do right now. Okay. All right. So I will save that for next time. All right, everyone. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We're at about 1:45. I think we have most everyone here by now. Oh, I lied. Got more coming in. Here we go. Okay. So today I just want to take some time. I'll share a little bit about me. I'll let you guys share in a little bit as well. I'm not totally sure how I'm going to do that, but we'll figure it out as we go. All right, sorry, just letting a few more people in. All right, so I wanted to start just by kind of sharing with you some of the things that I use every day, and I kind of amp them up during times of stress and anxiety. So I wanted to just share a few things with you. One of them is we're going to do a meditation here in just a minute. But I know if you guys know me, if you follow me, you know that I love my essential oils. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's pretty small, but I've got my diffuser going back there. But this morning, what I put into my diffuser, I put in highest potential, Palo Santo, and joy. And so these three blends are what I have going in my diffuser today. So highest potential, I think that kind of speaks for itself. What that one does, it helps you just achieve a higher potential, higher energy, higher balance. Palo Santo is a really, really good one. Palo Santo and White Angelica are really good for dissipating negative thoughts, feelings, and energies. So Palo Santo, you can also buy Palo Santo wood and burn it. But Palo Santo oil or White Angelica oil are really good oils, especially with everything going on right now, just to help you keep your negative feelings and emotions at bay. So those are some of the oils I used this morning. I have my crystals. Crystal quartz is amazing for helping keep the negativity away as well. I have, if you could see my room, I have crystals everywhere. But I love my crystal quartz. It's one of my favorites. I can't get enough quartz. And I wanted to show you guys this really cool piece of amethyst. So my brother, his buddy, this summer got to go to Georgia, and he actually helped excavate the mine, the amethyst mine. And so he brought me home. He knows how much I love crystals. So he brought me home this really cool piece. And I'm not sure how well you guys can see it, but on the side here, it has two little points growing out of it. I don't know if it's blurry, if you guys can see that, but I thought it was super cool that he brought that home for me. So crystals, oils, you know, I like to just try to keep my space as organized as I can, because, you know, being in disarray can lead to some of that anxiety and negative feelings. So I've been trying to really keep my workspace neat and keep things where I know I can see them. You know, like I said, I wish I could, you're on my computer, so I can't turn it to show you guys. But I wish you could see, I have my little window with all my crystals and my plants. Plants are lovely, you guys. If you have plants, bring one into your workspace or your room. They really can add a lot of benefit to the energy in the room. So just some simple little things to try and help you, stay a little less anxious right now. I'm also wearing a lot of crystals. I have a few jewelry makers that I really love. The one around my neck is a hunk of raw amethyst with copper. And this was made by Magic Alchemy. And then, I don't know if you can see my earrings, but my earrings have an amethyst and then a crystal quartz point. Here, I can take it out. So these were made by Amber Bryce. She's one of my favorite jewelry designers. And all their stuff is made by hand with love and intention. So really like buying my jewelry from independent businesses and people that I know are putting a lot of great intention into what they're making. All right. So I want to do a meditation with you guys. I thought we could start with one and end with one at the end. Meditation is a great way to just quiet your mind and body. And if you've never done meditation before, I know it can be intimidating. People think it's scary or too woo-woo for them. But it is very, very calming. And meditation is something that you can use kind of anywhere. So, for instance, if you were on a bus or a subway and you started getting some anxiety or, just in a crowded environment and you started to get some anxiety, you can actually do some meditation without really anyone else knowing that you're even doing it. It's a lot about your breath and just quieting your mind. So I want to start with a meditation with you guys. Hang on, let me get my little timer up. There we go. So I want you all, if you're sitting, just sit comfortably with your feet on the floor, flat on the floor. Don't cross your legs. Your hands can rest in your lap. If you're lying down, you can stay lying down. Make sure your legs and your arms are not crossed. Just let your arms lie loosely next to your body. And you can close your eyes. If that makes you dizzy, you don't have to close your eyes. You can just softly close them and focus on the screen in front of you or the phone or whatever you're using. You can just kind of softly close them, but kind of peek out. But either way, whether you can close them or just softly close them, try to close them a little bit because that helps keep all the other distractions out. And I have my little chimes here. I'm getting them. So I have my little chimes. You can hear the nice sound that they make. So I want you to, like I said, close your eyes or let them softly close. Take a few really deep breaths in through your nose, and you can either out through your nose or out through your mouth, whichever feels more comfortable for you. But big breath in, let it go down through your throat, down into your diaphragm. Big breath in, feel your chest rise. And big breath out. Big breath in, let it fill your body with oxygen and healthy thoughts. And out. And on the breath out, release all those negative thoughts, those negative feelings. Breath in. Think of the positives. Bring in the good energy. And big breath out. Let it all go. And your breath in, visualize yourself strong and healthy. And on the breath out, let go of any of the tension that you're feeling. Kind of wiggle your shoulders a little and your neck, your low back, all those places we hold tension but don't give enough attention to. Big breath in. Feel how strong you are. And breath out. Let it all go. All right. Now I'm going to let you guys continue breathing in and out. We're going to do a 3-minute meditation. And I will ring the chime at each minute. That way, if your thoughts have started drifting, you can bring them back to your breath. So we're going to begin now. Big breath in. Let it all go. And just relax and sit with your breath. Now, very slowly, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Feel your legs and your arms. Slowly let your body start to wake back up. Roll your shoulders and your neck. Let all that tension go. How's everyone feeling? That was just a simple 3-minute meditation. And, you know, if you found your thoughts drifting, that's not uncommon. You know, that's why we have the chime to try to help you bring your focus back to your breath, focusing on your breath so you're not focusing on all those thoughts going crazy in your head. But you can do this anywhere, you know, and it doesn't even have to be for 3 minutes. It can be for 30 seconds. And it's pretty amazing how quickly it can just bring that tension down and letting go of the anxious and the negative and, you know, everything that's making you feel like you're about to slip, and just allow yourself the breath. It's really simple to do. Like I said, you can do it anywhere. I like to do it right before, like as I get into bed. I do some nice stretches before I crawl into bed. Um, and then I just do some nice deep breathing until I fall asleep. I'm amazed how quickly I fall asleep when I do the breath work. And there are a lot of really good apps out there too that have guided meditations. Um, Love Your Brain has their March meditation, Mindful March meditation challenge going on. I believe it's a $38 or a $28 donation. Um, and you get a daily meditation. I know we're almost at the end of March, but you do get access to all of the meditations from the month. So you'll have 31 guided meditations, and they're very lovely. They're I don't know the right word, guided, performed by different members of the Love Your Brain community. Loveyourbrain.com if you guys want to check that out. But they have their Mindful March Meditation Challenge going on right now. Lisa said, I needed this reminder of slowing down to breathe. Yes. Sometimes, you know, like it's the most one of the most natural automatic things our body does is breathing. You know, our heart beats, our brain functions, and our breath flows, and we don't have to think about it. But sometimes we have to stop and think about it to just slow us down and let those icky thoughts out of our head. Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone said we take it for granted. So yeah, we have to just slow down and be intentional, and be intentional where we put our thoughts, because we can very easily spin out of control if we start thinking too much about the unknowns and what we can't control. But one thing we can control is our thoughts and our breath. So um, someone said focusing on our breath also can make us present. Very, very true. Okay. All right. Is everyone still awake? Did I put anyone to sleep? It's so cool to see all your smiling faces. Um, I know some of you have, it looks like there's a bunch of you that are on a phone with no video. And then some of you just have your video off, which is totally fine. But if you do want to turn your video on and we can see your smiling faces. And a few more of you just joined us. And just another reminder, I have everyone muted so there's not a whole bunch of background noise going on. And we just finished up a 3-minute meditation. And I hope you all enjoyed that. If you're watching the recording, I hope you enjoyed that as well. So I said I would do some readings from my book, and I actually wanted to start with something really special for me. Oops. If you get my emails or if you're friends with me on Facebook, you've probably seen this post the past week. I think it was a week ago. Time's kind of blurred right now. But a dear friend passed away. Her name was Nikki, and she was one of the contributors to the anthology. This is Nikki up here in the top middle. She was a brain injury warrior. She was also born with like a rare genetic disease. She was adopted, and so they never really knew her full family medical history. So they really didn't know what was wrong with her. But she hadn't been given they didn't think she'd live to be 18, 19. And she lived to 33. But she recently had cancer. She had, I believe, stomach cancer, stomach or colon. Um, and she last week had 2 emergency surgeries. They found that an ulcer had perforated her intestine. And so she was bleeding internally, and she did not survive the 2 emergency surgeries. So I thought a great way to honor her would be to read her story today. So I'm going to read Nikki's story. And this is in the anthology. I'm trying to find the best way to hold my book here. All right. Pushing Past Fear by Nikki Abramson. Sharing our deepest personal issues can make us vulnerable, open, and authentic. It is when we are most real with ourselves and with others that we can truly live. While I didn't want to lie to people, I shied away from opening up a part of my story to others. I didn't want to share that I suffered from a traumatic brain injury. So much stigma already exists around those words. I didn't want people to think of me of less than, that my brain wasn't working right, that I wasn't smart anymore, or that I wasn't capable. Although my brain isn't able to work like it should, I still am able to pursue important aspects of my life. It has taken time to heal and to recover. It has taken time for me to want to and to be ready to share my story. I know that when I do open up and share this part of my journey, it can resonate with others, educate, and inspire people in their own life journey. And that is what I'm truly all about. The summer of 2012 was life-changing for me. I was at a week-long camp where I was a camp counselor of 6th through 12th graders at a show choir camp. I often used a stand-up scooter, the kind that many kids have, but this one was electric. I would zoom around the campus, going from one end to the other, making sure that students were at the right place at the right time. Another camp counselor and I were talking as we went back to the dorms while the students were in practice. He walked and I scooted. As we neared the turn to the dorm, I heard a car behind us, so I slowed down the scooter and gestured to the driver to pass me so I could go at my own pace. Back on the scooter, I knew I had gripped the handle wrong. I lost my footing and the scooter went flying from underneath me at 15 miles per hour, crashing me to the cement face first. Aaron shouted, Nikki, are you okay?" I brush it off, thinking I'm fine. A huge headache comes on. A hematoma the size of a goose egg starts to grow on my forehead. 2 black and blue eyes appear. Plus, I saw blood from my skinned up knees and elbows that also took a beating. Aaron walked the scooter back to the dorm only a few feet away. Then he found me something to sit on so he could run to get ice and call 911, my parents, and our camp directors. Aaron rushed me in his van to the nearest ER. I remember he kept talking to me and making sure I was okay. I kept saying, "Aaron, I'm fine. Let's go back. The kids need us." I go in and out of consciousness. Aaron stays with me as we wait our turn to see a doctor. At this point, the headache is beyond anything I can even describe. I'm in so much pain, I can barely see straight. My eyes are swollen, blood continues to pour out of parts of my body, and the goose egg bump continues to grow and grow. The camp director stops by while I am having my MRI. My parents and I talked on the phone to make sure I'm okay. "Yes, Dad, I think I'm okay. I will see how I feel in the morning and maybe see my primary doctor." They x-rayed my face and brain to make sure that my brain is okay. It turns out things were okay, and that originally I had a headache, was nauseous, and looked horrible for that 1 week. I was on pain medication, and the doctor told me, you might have some side effects because you took a hard landing on your head and your brain, but you should be okay. Take this medicine." I ask if I can continue to stay at camp or if I need to go home. You can go to camp if you're able to be okay, but rest and take it easy. This was just day 1 of camp, and I was devastated, yet fought it out. Weeks later, I still had the headaches. I was forgetting things. In fact, I couldn't remember anything, like how to do simple tasks. I felt horrible. I ended up seeing another doctor who then diagnosed a TBI. TBI, I thought to myself, I don't need another complication. I was then sent to speech therapy and occupational therapy to help my attention, focus, and concentration skills. Therapy was a long and hard battle. At the time, I was also in graduate school trying to pursue my master's degree. I couldn't read for long periods of time without getting headaches. The words on the page would be jumbled together and become foggy. I forgot things and had to have checklists everywhere. I ended up taking time off school because it was too hard on my brain. Watching TV, a simple task that normally relaxed my brain, was stressful on my brain. Being on the computer would be so taxing on my brain, and for several months, I would barely be able to respond to a few emails here and there. When the doctor recommended that I attend speech therapy, I was offended. I can speak fine and have no difficulty with coming up with words. I didn't want to tell people I was going to speech therapy because then I guess I'd get questions like, "You speak fine. Why are you in speech?" The speech therapist helped me to break down daunting items. I remember trying to do my laundry, and the tasks, like cooking a simple meal, were too hard to break down in my head. She gave me the tools for how to organize my schedule and calendar with to-do lists and color coding, as well as learning to advocate for myself. I also got a Luminosity subscription where I could play games online every day to help my brain build up to where it used to be. I continue this subscription, and now 4 years later, Luminosity still helps me. I'm grateful for those tools that I have been given that I can still use, and so I continue to help the symptoms of this difficult condition. Recovery is a process. In many ways, I have recovered from TBI. However, in other ways, I feel as though I'm still recovering. It has been life-changing and think I will always recover in other ways. The biggest obstacle in suffering from with TBI is the fact that people say, "You look fine, you look better, you must be feeling better." I wanted others to know about this invisible condition of my brain. I wanted people to live with my brain injury for just a day to see how difficult it was for me. It was like my world was upside down. Another obstacle I faced was loss. Losing my ability to do things made me discouraged. It made me feel inadequate, not good enough. And more importantly, I didn't feel like myself. A little piece of my brain was missing. Some days I couldn't think. It hurt my brain to think. To plan out my day was overwhelming and exhausting, a task I normally enjoy and love. I didn't want to tell others that I suffered from a TBI because I was fearful about what people would think of me. I worked hard in my life to get where I am. I didn't want people to see me as weak. I didn't want people to look at me as though I couldn't do anything. To those of us that suffer, many others in this world have also gone through this. It is not fun. You are not alone. Hang in there. Take it one day at a time. Some days I didn't think I would ever regain the ability to be on the computer, read, or watch TV. I have worked hard to be able to do what I can do. I have taken the time to quiet down my mind and accept where I am. It is okay. It is okay to accept where you are. There is always hope. Life is hard, and you never know what might be thrown at you. Yet there is always hope. Don't ever give up on this. Keep seeking out answers. I remember seeing a few different doctors and therapists and tried numerous options to see what might work. One thing would work for someone else, but not for me. You just never know. Be patient and kind to yourself. I was fearful of what others would think of me. I have learned to accept myself and who I am, TBI and all. Self-care and self-love are the greatest gifts you can give yourself. You are loved. There is hope. Hold on. So again, that was Nikki Abramson, who is one of the contributors in the anthology series, and she passed away last week. So a bright light went out in the world. All right. So I think some of you can really relate to what Nikki was saying. Um, I hear from people quite often that they don't want to tell anyone that they've had a brain injury. And, I think, in my opinion, I think that that's detrimental to your own recovery. If you're not willing to admit what's going on and to seek help and get resources, you're only delaying your own recovery. And I think it's natural in the beginning to, um, I can't think of the word, um, but to not understand that this is what's going on with you, and to not want to admit it. And, it is. I know for me in the beginning, like there was no denying it. I was so not okay. Um, and, I was screaming from the top of my lungs that I needed help, and people just were drifting away and not helping me. And I understand now, that people just don't know what to say. When people say, "Oh, you look great. Oh, you must be better." That used to really irritate me. Um, but now I've come to understand that they're just trying to be compassionate. They don't mean those words maliciously. They're not trying to hurt your feelings, usually. There might be exceptions to that rule, but in general, I don't think that they're trying to be hurtful. I think that they're genuinely trying to just open up a conversation with you. And if the first thing you do is shut them out because they said that, well, again, you're only inhibiting your own recovery. So, try to shift your perspective on that when people say things like, "Oh, you look great. Oh, you look better. You must be doing good." Um, just say thank you. I'm still recovering, but thank you. um, it we have the only thing we have the ability to control is what's in here and our own attitude. And if you have a constant negative attitude and you're pissed off at the world, you're never going to get better in that space. And my first year I was pissed off. I was really pissed off. And I come from a background of gratitude and um, manifesting and law of attraction. Like I understand all that, but yet I still couldn't get myself into the headspace to shift my own attitude. And once I did shift my attitude, oh, hey, maybe I should just be grateful that I'm still alive, because that fall literally could have killed me. I could not be here right now. There's a reason that I survived my accident. And once I kind of shifted that attitude, that's when the recovery really started to happen. And it's really interesting to me that the most awful comments I get on Facebook and Instagram posts are the ones where I'm trying to be positive and inspiring. And people get really pissed. Like, "Oh, sure, you can be happy. You're better, and it's not easy for all of us to be happy or grateful." Well, I beg to differ. I think any one of us has that. Only you have the power to change your attitude. Nobody else can do that for you. Nobody. It's a lot easier for someone to piss you off than it is for them to make you happy. And that's just a fact of nature. Negativity spreads faster than positivity. Um, and that's very unfortunate. But you have the ability to shift your perspective, and only you have that power. Like I said, no one else can do that for you. No one else can make you change your attitude. You have to be willing to do that yourself. And I understand that when people write those mean and nasty and rude comments, I understand that that's pain. It's coming from a place of pain, and they're frustrated. But there's really nothing I can do to change their attitude. They're the ones that have to be willing to make that change. And it can be really, really, really hard for loved ones and caregivers. I hear from caregivers all the time about their spouse or a family member and how they're just angry all the time and negative. And it can be really, really straining on relationships. But just know all you can do is love and support the person and try to lead by example. And like I said, my first year, it was at least a year. I know for some people it's longer, some people it's less. But for me, it was a whole year of feeling just really pissed off and like, why did this happen to me? I kind of had the victim mentality, so to speak. I was a victim, even though, I literally slipped on the ice. Nobody did this to me. If anything, I did it to myself, right? And so just, shower them with love, even when you're really pissed off at them, and just show them that you appreciate them. And, I think caregivers have the hardest job in the world. And, I'm a caregiver right now to my mother, and it's very unappreciated. um, and I had to just recently explain to her that she's not allowed to go out right now. She cannot go outside. She cannot go into Walmart. She cannot go into the grocery store. Um, this virus would literally kill her. And I have to be careful because I can't go out either. I can't afford to bring it home to her. So, it's very challenging, and we've had a couple of big fights. And um, I joked the other day that I feel like I'm on Survivor, but I can't vote my mom off the island. And mom doesn't necessarily have a brain injury. I would argue that chemo does cause a chemical brain injury, but that's not necessarily her biggest problem. So caregivers have a tough job. And, if you have a caregiver, tell them how much you appreciate them, because I don't think they hear it enough. I haven't heard it once in 2 years. So, sometimes it's nice to feel appreciated and know that what you're doing is affecting the other person. So tell your caregiver you appreciate them and love them. And caregivers, just be patient. It's hard. It's really, really hard. And I have had to just go in my room and shut the door and watch Netflix for hours at a time to just like forget about it. But, going back to what I said, your attitude is your own attitude. No one else can change your attitude. You are the only one that holds that power. And you truly cannot heal when you are in a place of anger, victim mentality, when you're pissed off at the world, when you're in the why me, this sucks. Our thoughts are incredibly powerful. And if you're saying things like, this sucks, I'm never going to get better, well, you're not. I mean, I hate to give you tough love, but you're not. You're not going to get better if that's your attitude. If you shift, sometimes I say fake it till you make it. You might not believe it yet, but if you start telling yourself, we got this, we're going to get better, we're going to get through this. It's amazing. I mean, just practice that every morning. Put a Post-it note on the mirror so that's the first thing you see when you go to brush your teeth in the morning. And just practice it. Fake it till you make it. Eventually you'll start believing it. But even when you're still faking it in the beginning, it's a powerful shift in your attitude. So give it a try. I think most of you that are here probably already understand it. It's the ones who aren't here maybe that need to hear it. And if you're in the tribe, I encourage you just to be positive to one another. And if you see someone who seems like they're struggling, oh my gosh, Tim Nolan, you're an alien. That's hilarious. And I know Tim, so it's kind of appropriate. Sorry, I just got sidetracked by his Zoom video. I don't remember what I was saying. I lost it. Tim, you distracted me. Yeah. Oh, I know what I was saying. So in the tribe, just try to be positive. If you see someone struggling, try to lift them up. Don't get offended if they get offended by you trying to lift them up. They're just not there yet. And, sometimes you can lift someone up. Sometimes that's what they need to hear. And other times they don't want to hear it. So don't be offended if they get offended, right? I hope that makes sense. But just, be kind. And, sometimes being kind is giving tough love. And, sometimes they don't want to hear it, but they need to hear it. So that's my soapbox for the day. All right. So I want to shift and share, if you guys are on my email list, you've already gotten some of this. But I have a ton of free resources for you guys, during this time when we just can't leave the house and we're kind of stuck at home. Some of the free resources, I recently put the 2019 Brain Health Summit. I put the whole summit online for free to watch. And that's at the brainhealthonlinesummit.com/free replay. You don't need to register or anything. Just that link will straight up take you there, and you can watch all of last year's summit. I can't remember. I think there was 21 presentations last year. And this year's summit's still going on. We're in its last week. We just have a couple more days, but you can still register to get this weekend. We'll have the week 4 replay, and that's just the Brain Health Online Summit, and you can still register and you'll still get the last couple days. But the brainhealthonlinesummit.com/free replay, all lowercase. That's going to get you last year's summit to watch for free. So there's like 20 hours of goodness there, you guys. I already mentioned the TBI Tribe. I think most of you are already in my group. But if you're not, definitely join Amy's TBI Tribe. The podcast series, I have almost 150 episodes, and they're all about 30 minutes long. So there's a wealth of information there, you guys. I've interviewed survivors, caregivers, doctors, professional athletes, all sorts of different people have been interviewed on the podcast. And you can find that at facesoftbi.com. I have TBI TV on YouTube, and you can find that also at facesoftbi.com. I started the TBI Book Club. There are about 350 of you in my virtual book club, and you can find that at thebrainhealthmagazine.com. And this month, so you can still get registered. It doesn't really matter when you join. This month, our book was Pockets of Joy by Roxanne Battle. And it actually turned out to be a super appropriate book. Little did we know what was going to happen. It's a small little book, really easy read. Pockets of Joy, Deciding to Be Happy, Choosing to Be Free. And Roxanne Battle was a news anchor here in the Twin Cities. She has now moved out to San Diego, but she will be live in our book club next Tuesday evening. So if you do sign up for the book club, you'll get an invite to be part of that. It's a live Zoom call with Roxanne. But it's just a super inspiring book in how to find those little pockets of joy every day, even when things don't seem joyful. So like I said, it's kind of serendipitous that this was the book, because it's not at all TBI related. Most of the books we've read have been in some way TBI related, and this one was not. I just loved it because it's such a great short little read, really inspirational. But Roxanne, and I have her original book. So this is her on the cover. If you go on Amazon to find her book, it is a yellow cover with a butterfly on it. So it won't look like this one. But if you go to the book club page on the Brain Health Magazine website, you'll see the book cover and you can click on it. So that's coming up next week. That's something else you guys can get signed up for. And you can ask her questions in the chat while we're doing the live interview with her. She's a lovely person. She does a lot of motivational speaking. I was so happy she agreed to be part of the book club because she's a pretty in-demand speaker out in the world. So very excited that she was able to be a part of our book club. Another great resource for you guys is the Brain Health Magazine. So if you go to the brainhealthmagazine.com, you can sign up for your digital subscription. These are the printed copies. You can get a print subscription for $25, US only. Sorry, everyone else. I have not figured out how to do international yet. But these were the first 3 issues were really close to getting the next issue out here in the next couple of weeks. With everything going on, we knew we had to continue and get it out there because people are really enjoying the magazine. But if you're signed up, you will get the digital links so you can get the PDFs. And I've had a lot of people complain to me that they can't afford the print, but they can't read it online. I'll tell you a secret. You can print out the PDF. It's magic. So printing out the PDF, I only have a black and white printer, so it's not as pretty. But if you have a color printer, it'll look great when you print it out. But I print mine out two-sided. I know not all printers can do that, but I do it two-sided, so it's kind of like reading the magazine. So you can print it out, you guys. You know, if you're not able to get the print subscription but can't read it on a device, definitely just print it out. Go old school. So that's the magazine. Want to make sure I covered everything here. Yeah, so free resources, the TBI Tribe on Facebook, the Brain Health Magazine, the podcast series, the 2019 Summit Replay, TBI TV, the TBI Book Club. So yeah, lots of free things that can occupy your time the next few weeks, you guys. You know, get you guys a lot of great information as well, great resources and all of those things. So, all right. Let me get my screen here. All right, so we're at 12:30. I want to kind of open it up a little bit here. I'm not sure the best way to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute everybody, and it's going to get a little loud here. So if you know that you're somewhere where you're loud, please mute yourself once I unmute you. If there's background noise going, if you have a TV playing, if there's people talking, kids screaming, dogs barking, please mute yourself. So right now I'm going to hit unmute all. So like I said, if you're somewhere loud, please mute yourself so that we don't have to hear all your background noise. All right, here we go. I'm unmuting all. Plug your ears if you're scared. That wasn't too bad. I heard someone burp. That was nice.
Okay, I can't see you anymore.
No, it was hiccup. Sorry. Hiccup.
Okay, hiccup, not a
Hi,
burp.
Amy.
Thank you very much for this. You're wonderful. It's an important part of all of our life.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Amy. I missed you.
Hey, Amy. Thanks for doing this.
Hold.
Hi, Amy. Just want to let you know that I heard about you from Jen, the owner of No Knots in South St. Paul, and this is my first time doing anything with you. I've tried signing up for I do have your online magazine. I need to go now. but I want to say thank you, and I will join again. It's been very
Who
pleasant.
who are you? What's your name? I can't see everybody.
My name is Laura, and it just, hi, Amy. My name is Laura, and it comes up as a phone number. I've got my phone number there listed. I'll have to figure out how to change that and put down Laura, because that's my name. But Jen at No Knots is the one that reached out and told me about you.
She's in my writing
I'm
group.
excited to, oh, is she? That's awesome. I'm so excited to check out the summit and see everything I can do, and to get more involved with all of your resources and everything that you're doing, because
Great.
I have my brain injury I got 3+ years ago, and I feel like I've been alone in an island out here. So besides, I had come out of a long meditation this morning and went right into this meeting, arriving late. And then your meditation was wonderful. But the other biggest thing I got out of this is, especially now with COVID-19, I need to thank my only caregiver, my biggest support, my husband. So again, thank you. Thank you, best to everybody. Keeping you all in white light during this time. See you again.
Thank
Amy?
you.
Amy,
Yes.
can you hear me? Okay.
Who's talking?
My name
Say
is
your
Brian.
name first. Brian?
Brian. Yeah, and I believe it was in the introduction in your email blast, but it really summed it up in that we're in a time of isolation, and a lot of people are going bonkers. Now, we're our own shade of bonkers, but no, not to offend anyone, but a lot of us self-isolate anyway. I do, and so it's nothing new. But it's also so very lonely, so much more lonely, and I can't put my hands on it. Can't put my finger on it as to why, because I
I
self-isolate.
feel the same way.
I
Doesn't
agree.
seem like the same thing.
Maybe because I can't go to the store whenever I want.
Yeah, maybe.
Can't get my favorite cheese. I don't know.
I've heard a lot of people say that they feel very disconnected, even though we're used to being isolated.
Exactly.
And I don't understand it either. I've been anxious all morning, and I mean, we know what's been going on, but there's just something different. And I really thought we kind of had a good deal, you know, for having a brain injury, because we're used to isolating, but it feels different. It really does.
Yeah, I think we have a corner on that market.
Yeah. This is Tony, and I found that there's a big difference in wanting to stay home and being forced to stay home.
It's true.
You know, like if I decide I want to stay home, that's fine. But if we have a snowstorm or something and I'm forced to stay home, I feel trapped. You know, there's such a difference to me.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was going to say is, I think it'd be great if people put suggestions of what helps them, like in the comments. And I put some on there. Maybe Amy, you can kind of consolidate them. Because I think this group will be great to help each other and share some ideas of what is helping each other right now, because you know we are all feeling kind of, it's very different. You know,
Isolated.
it's a new you know, we're already in our new normal, and now we're have to find a different new normal, and we're kind of in limbo. And for me, limbo is not a comfortable place to be. So thanks, Amy. Love you.
It's one thing to be told, this is Brian. It's one thing to self-isolate. That's one thing. That's bad, and we should not practice that. And we should get together as groups. Just TBI, or find your friends and get together when you can. And now we have to self-isolate. And when I'm told I have to do something, well, then I really don't want to do it. That's going to make it even worse. So I'm self-isolating, and I'm told I have to.
You know, I'm going to also add that there's a very heavy collective feeling of like fear and uncertainty in the world, not just the brain injury community, right? Like it's everywhere right now.
I think
And
it's global anxiety.
yes. And, you know, we have to protect ourselves. Like we already have a susceptibility to feeling anxious and uneasy. And we have to protect ourselves. And, you know, for me, that's my oils and my crystals and my meditation and some yoga. But for you, you know, it might be something else, but you need to find what it is for you that helps you stay present and focused. And like Tony, I think was saying earlier, you know, maybe we can write what works for us in the chat. When I'm done recording, I get the copy of the chat, so I can see how maybe I can relay that to everybody. But yeah, you know, we have to kind of really rely on each other and just help lift each other up as best that we can. And you know, there's a real reason for the fear right now, right? Like we need to acknowledge that, but we don't have to let it be all consuming.
Hi, it's
I shared some
Jennifer.
stuff the other day.
There's a couple of you talking at once.
Sorry, it's Jennifer. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I've had kids with anxiety, and and now with the head injury and everything, I have more anxiety myself. But I think the thing that we all have to do right now, especially, is just try to. I mean,
Okay, I'm going to just stop for a second. There's a lot of background noise going on. If you're doing something, I hear someone's phone ringing too. But if you're doing something, if you're cooking or I don't know what that noise was, even just carrying your phone or computer, it can cause a little bit of noise. So please just mute yourself if you think it might be you. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Okay, thank you. So the thing that I've always tried to help my kids with, and what we all have, and it's, you know, fairly common knowledge, but I think especially now with what's going on.
Oh, Jennifer, I think we lost you. Your video went away too. Bandwidth
is low is what it's telling me.
What was that?
Her bandwidth low is what it was telling.
Yeah. Yep. Her internet connection.
Other stuff.
Yeah. Does
Well,
anybody?
I'm gonna run, but I'm sure I'm glad to have. I'm going to exit, but I sure appreciate this meeting that you put together, and it's nice to see faces, and really great to hear you in person rather than just through the speakers and be able to see the faces. So,
What was your name?
Thank you.
My name's Sherry.
Sherry
Westover. Yeah, I don't know how to put my name on here. I don't know how to comment either. So,
Hi, Sherry.
Well, before I know a bunch of you have to go, but before you all start leaving, just a reminder that next week I'm going to pull up the date so I give you the right date. April 1st, 6:30 Central. I'm going to do some TBI bingo. I'm going to have prizes.
Oh boy.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Could get a little competitive. So write that down, put that in your calendar. I'll get that out in an email. If you guys if you're not already on my email list, go to facesoftbi.com and sign up for my newsletter. That way you'll get on the email list as well. And we still have new people join. We've had a bunch of people join throughout the whole conversation. So thank you all so much for being here. Bless you to whoever that was. Thank you so much for being here. At one point we were up to 70 people. So this is just phenomenal. And I hope that you all have a really great day. I'll send out this recording in the email. And just take care of yourselves. Work on, finding what can help you control that anxiety. And, you know, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's just going for a walk if you're able to in your community. Don't put yourself at risk, but if you're able to get out in nature. For me, it's getting my mom in the car and we go for a drive. We don't get out anywhere, but we go for a drive. So, you know, whatever it is,
good
it
old
just helps
days.
you clear your head. So
As long as you don't get pulled over. I don't know what the laws are anymore.
Yeah.
depends on the state. Yeah,
or to the
Minnesota
doctor,
doesn't
and
have a
that's it.
shutdown yet, but I know
Yeah.
many of you do. So obey those rules.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everyone, stay safe,
Thank
stay
you, Amy.
healthy, stay
Be
home,
healthy.
and
Peace.
I'll see you all next
Bye,
week.
Sherry.